If you want a unique and delicious holiday gift that you can share, let me show you how to do it. Hey everybody, it's Kaitlin from The Walks of Life, and today I have a really fun recipe for you. It's Shortcut Dan Dan Noodles, or Dan Dan Mian. So the reason why this is an amazing shortcut is because all we're doing is we're taking a few different sauces, mixing them up in a jar, and then this jar just sits in your fridge waiting for a craving to strike. Once you have this mixture made up, it's actually gonna last for 6 months in the fridge. So we actually posted a Dan Dan noodle recipe way back when if your recipe went viral on Pinterest, that was what we lived and died by. I feel like a grandma being like, back in my day when we went viral on Pinterest for our Dan Dan noodles, it was really a success. Now, a lot has changed. But when we published our cookbook, The Walks of Life, Recipes to Know and Love from a Chinese American Family, that's us, I wanted to adapt that Dan Dan noodle recipe and just make it more approachable and easy, because even though we all knew that it was a delicious Dan Dan noodle recipe, and a lot of our readers knew and loved it, we didn't really reach for it that much. It took some effort. Yeah, it takes some effort. It's a little complicated. So the recipe that's here in this cookbook is now kind of, at least my personal gold standard for Dan Dan noodles, because it's just so darn easy. That jar sits in my fridge, and when I'm like, I want some spicy, delicious, tasty noodle comfort, I reach for my Shortcut Dan Dan jar. So we need chili oil. That's kind of the base for this recipe, and that's like gonna form the majority of the volume. We're gonna have sesame paste. That kind of forms like a creaminess and like gives the sauce body. The next ingredients that we have are light soy sauce and dark soy sauce. We have ground Sichuan peppercorns and 5-spice powder. And finally, we'll need some sugar. That's gonna really round out all the flavors and kind of bring it all together. It's not gonna taste sweet, it's just gonna taste right. Now let's talk about noodles. The key with this sauce is it's thick and it's salty and it's spicy. So you want a noodle that's gonna be able to stand up to all that. We like to reach for a Shanghai style plain noodle. It's thick, but it's not like crazy thick. I've made it with thinner noodles. It just gets really salty. It's not like it's horrible, but it's less balanced. It's less balanced. So the other thing that we have here is some ground pork. You could use ground pork, ground chicken, ground turkey, crumbled tofu, whatever you want. If you are using ground pork, chicken, or turkey, I would say it is good to just velvet it lightly with some cornstarch and Shaoxing wine. It gives it an extra layer of flavor. If you don't want to do that, I've made this plenty of times where I just went gremlin mode and ground the brown pork and didn't do anything special to it, and that's fine too. Once you mix it in with the sauce, it's okay. The next thing that I have is some veggies. Anything that can like quickly blanch in the noodle water is great. You can use spinach, you can use bok choy, any leafy green.
Pre-washed baby spinach is clutch because you don't have to do anything to it.
I remember back in the day when if you bought like pre-washed and pre-cut vegetables, it was like, okay, money bags. Now, I feel like it's just everywhere and it's so common. So if you have some pre-washed baby spinach, that's great. We have bok choy today. This is actually from our garden. Last, but definitely not least, I have a unique ingredient here.
Arguably the key ingredient.
It is arguably the key ingredient because it gives it that traditional Dan Dan noodle flavor. This is sui mi ya cai, or a preserved mustard vegetable. It's little bits and it almost like looks black, and if you smell it, it's just like incredibly pungent and like has this truly irreplaceable umami flavor that once you mix with the pork and the noodles is really delicious. I have a little.
Somebody did do it with gherkins once.
Yes. Great substitute if you live, no shade to Europe or the UK, but sui mi ya cai might be harder to find there. And we had one reader who told us that he couldn't find this, and he used minced up little gherkins. And I think that that is a brilliant idea. So if you can't find this, reach for a little mini gherkin. That said, sui mi ya cai is shelf stable and it is pretty easy to order online. You can use Amazon, but there's also a website if you're in the US called Savory. Or you might want to check local Chinatown grocers near you, and a lot of them these days are modernizing and they ship. So check it out and support your local Chinatown. So I've got my fresh chili oil. There is some debate in the chili oil world of whether people like or should use the solids and the oil. We are very much like, use the solids, embrace the solids, and just...
Are people still debating that? I feel like people are really into the solids. Chili crisp and...
People are into the solids, but some people aren't. So all I'm gonna say is, for this recipe, you're gonna want like a fairly even mix of solids and oil. I'm adding my chili oil right into the jar. And this is a clean jar. You could go the extra step of boiling the jar and then making sure it's fully dried. The other thing that you're gonna wanna do when you're picking out a jar, I should have said earlier, is this one has like one of those rubber lids. That's really important because there's so much oil shaking around in here, and that's gonna prevent any leaking. Probably could get away with a mason jar, but after a while it would get messy. This jar works really well. And we just got this at like Home Goods or something. Next, we need 1/3 cup of soy sauce. This is the light or regular soy sauce. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of our sesame paste. I've stirred it. It's still pretty chunky. I did take the lid off and then I just put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. That's a good way to just kind of like soften up these solid bits. Ideally, this would be fully mixed, but I'm gonna use a whisk to break it up, and just make sure that you're getting a good amount of like the oil and like see these like solid chunks. Chinese sesame paste is sesame paste. Tahini is also sesame paste. But you cannot substitute them. Middle Eastern tahini, that has a much lighter color. It's like more pourable. It's raw sesame seeds that have been ground into a paste, whereas this is toasted. The color, the flavor, just everything is different. So I know it's a little bit annoying that I'm telling you to go buy this, even if you might have some tahini in your fridge, but make a couple of these jars and you'll be halfway through this before you know it.
Or make sesame noodles.
Or make sesame noodles.
Or hot pot dipping sauce.
Or hot pot dipping sauce.
Lots of uses for sesame paste.
The world is your oyster. So I need 2 tablespoons of sesame paste. If it's heaping, it's okay. 5 teaspoons of dark soy sauce, that's 1 tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons. And now I need 4 teaspoons of this Better Than Bouillon chicken flavored base. This is one of our favorite ingredients. I think it's so great. Please sponsor us. They won't return our calls.
We've never called them.
The addition of some meaty chicken flavor, plus like when you brown some pork and mix it all up into the noodles, is a real game changer. 4 teaspoons is like a heaping tablespoon, so I could have just done that too. And now I need a 1/4 teaspoon of 5-spice powder. I'm realizing that this recipe is a little bit small for this jar. This is the only jar that we had with this rubber seal, but you can find ones that are like this big. That would probably be good. So I'm just gonna stir everything with a little mini whisk. Truly satisfying. When you take it out of the fridge to use it, you are gonna have to give it a little bit of a stir because the chili oil will separate a little bit, but it's nothing like stirring up the sesame paste. It's very straightforward. All right, and the smell of the fresh chili oil, it has that warm, toasty, spiced flavor. And I do recommend using our homemade chili oil because you can really add a lot more spices and aromatics, and you can find store-bought chili oil that's like oil plus chili flakes. It's not like chili crisp. That works too in a pinch, but I personally think that homemade is best when it comes to chili oil. So look at that sauce. I mean, it's luscious. We are ready to assemble our final bowl of Dan Dan noodles, so let's do it. So I have my ground pork here, and for each serving, you're gonna want about 3 to 4 ounces of pork. And we're just going to do a little like shortcut velveting, just a glug of Shaoxing wine and like a 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch, thereabouts. And I'm just gonna mix that up, and then we'll be ready to brown it. You don't have to really like let it marinate or sit for a long time. It's ready to go. So when you've got your sauce, your pork, your vegetables, your soy mi yatai ready, you're gonna head over to the stove You're gonna boil a pot of water for your noodles. While that's happening, a little bit of oil into the pan. Just brown the ground pork until it's nice and golden and a little crispy on the edges. I almost forgot the garlic. You're gonna want 2 cloves of garlic, minced, and that's gonna add another layer of flavor. You're gonna add the soy mi yatai into the pork. Just a couple of tablespoons is all you need. Add the noodles to the boiling water. For these noodles, it's about 3 to 4 minutes. I know it can be tempting when you're boiling noodles to bring it to a rolling boil, but you actually really want it to be at a low boil because that's gonna prevent them from being overly starchy. If it does come up to a high boil, you can just add more cold fresh water, and that's gonna help them cook evenly and keep the starchiness down. In the last minute or so of cooking, we're gonna add our leafy greens until they're just wilted and tender. Drain the noodles and the vegetables, add them to a serving bowl, top it with a little bit of the pork and soy mi yatai mixture, spoon a couple of tablespoons of sauce over, give or take, mix it up until all the noodles are coated and everything's looking really delicious and you're ready to eat. And just like that, we have a fresh bowl of Dan Dan noodles. Let's give it a try. This looks so good. Look at all that. You can smell all that chili oil and sesame paste. The noodles are perfectly al dente. I forgot how good it can be when it's fresh. When you've got fresh chili oil and this freshly made Dan Dan noodle sauce, this is really so good. That's my Shortcut Dan Dan Noodles. I hope you guys love this recipe. Maybe if you have our cookbook, you've even made it already a few times before, but you can tie a bow around it and it makes a great holiday gift this time of year. So, hope you guys enjoy. Just reach for any like pickly, vinegary type element.
I wouldn't say reach for any, because like, would like chopped Kalamata olives work? No, it would ruin the dish.
So it's just gherkins. Gherkins are bust.